Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome to Real Talk Podcast. We'll be covering certain topics that people gonna find real interesting. I'd like to introduce my friend, longtime friend, Crybaby, and my comrade, Q-Bone. How y'all doing today, brothers?
All right, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty
Hey,
good,
Black.
man. I just wanted to start off thinking and talking about, the geographics of, California and a lot of different changes have been made because of certain things that involve a lot of politics, like, our neighborhoods. Like, I want to talk about my neighborhood in particular, and I'm sure Cubone neighborhood is the same as mine. I want to talk about the gentrification that's been taking place in my neighborhood over the past maybe 20 years or so,
30.
30
About
years.
30. Yeah,
Wh-
actually a little over 30 because if you look what put it in motion, it extends all the way to the early 80s.
Right,
You dig?
right. But then Reagan was in office in
Yeah,
86,
yeah,
and he
yeah.
didn't allow it to happen. He stopped it. But then the Democrats got in there and everything started. Oh, what you think, Vaughn? What you think about this situation? Being you from LA and I'm from Los Angeles, but the situation is almost the same. You know what I mean? Would you say it's your area is the same as mine?
Oh yeah, of course, man. It's that's totally like I said in the '80s, man. The gentrification started when we started moving to Moreno Valley. They start telling us, building these tract homes and giving us things, we're giving us better places to stay and getting us out of our community. But in all actuality, they was getting us out there so they can move in and raise up the bar. You know what I mean? Well, we can't even come back or don't want to come back. Even if we want to, we can't come back because they're not going to sell us back a house. So yeah, '86, they start moving to our communities, man, and we start moving out, and that's when the gentrification start changing rapidly after that.
Yeah, I remember myself that coming to Long Beach. I came to Long Beach in 1974 from Louisiana, and when I got there, the neighborhood was predominantly black, but it was certain areas that we couldn't go to. We had a demographic of maybe like 3 miles, like, and we got so far it was a stop sign. Like you be in this certain area, and it's like the police pull you over, like, "Hey, what you doing over here?"
Well, somebody called the police on you.
Right.
Real
Right.
talk.
Somebody called the police on you because you're in the area, but after a while we start extending even past those areas that we was forbidden to go in. So it's like it's a reversal. Like I
Hmm.
believe that America need a modern minority to do the works that they think that we're not doing anymore because like they feel that we didn't got too good and working at McDonald's is beneath us. But that's not the point.
No,
We
it's not.
Well, the mindset had to be established first to even uproot us. It became okay to sleep with your homeboy's mama because she was on crack.
right.
It became okay to rob another homeboy because he wasn't a part of your crew, but y'all from the same set or the same hood. All
Right.
these things came because uh, at a time you only had a certain amount of cats that was in the street really out there like that, and everybody else was in school or jocks or whatever. But when that Reagan era came and they started cutting down all of them social programs, then a lot of youngsters who normally wouldn't take interest in certain things start to take interest in the street because it wasn't not there, nothing out there available. And we had
Right.
the NYC program, we had the CETA program, so you had cats that was like 12, 13 year olds, they had jobs to buy school clothes and everything else. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it was a I would say it was a certain plan to set us in a certain atmosphere to where
Right.
our mindset would adapt to it to where it made it easy for other people to come in when we was weak and
Well,
uproot us.
I remember like I could say 1976, 1977. Well, the Vietnamese in Saigon when they start allowing them to come over here, a lot of them was released up on Long Beach,
Mm-hmm.
and at that time we had like a lot of places like say PCH. Me and you familiar with that?
Mm-hmm.
Anaheim. All those buildings was abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to laugh at the Asians when they went to community college. When they went to the community college, there was so many of them that was going to the community college, and we didn't understand why they was going to the community college. They was going to the community college, in order to get their education and get those grants. And then when they start opening up all those markets and all those places that have been abandoned for so long that we could have easily did, but we didn't do because we didn't come from a third world country where we lived in huts. We had always had running water. We always had all the stuff that we need to survive. You know what I mean? Even the government was giving us like Section 8. They was giving us food stamps. They was giving us all these assistance that, you know, other countries don't give. So we didn't know what struggle was. We didn't, we wasn't raised with dirt on our floors or have to go outside and get our waters or use potty. So we was disadvantaged with that knowledge of struggle.
Yeah.
Bone? What you say,
Yeah.
Bone?
Yeah, we was, because you gotta look at it, man. When they came over here, they had economical backing, because you know, a lot of, just like when the Koreans came over later on, opened these swap meets and nail shops and different things. Like when the Indians came, not India, but when the Indians came over, they started working these motels and stuff. They had banks that was giving them money. They would sell their property for whatever yang money they can over there, and come over here and get the little banks they had, Swanson Bank and all that. They had a bank backing, and they would get them loans and stuff, these grants, and they would open these stores, which we didn't have no access to. You know, when they dropped, like I said, they dropped them off in Long Beach because that was close to that water. It came on them ships. We came on them trains, and when we came to Louisiana on them trains and stuff, they knocked us on the railroad tracks and then dropped us off near the project, which was supposed to be military barricades for the people coming home from Vietnam, the soldiers. They turned that into a project for us.
Well, Bone, it seemed like everything with us has started off, you know, in the form of riots. Like if you think back in 1965 when the riot took place, you remember when we started fighting with them, they was like, oh, God damn, these blacks are fighting with us. Like they're not that passive anymore. You know what I mean? We got to start giving them stuff to calm them down. So they start giving us like housing. They start giving us like food. And then we start sending that call out, you know, to Arkansas, to Mississippi, to Louisiana, to different parts of the South. Come out here. It's good. And then we start coming out here. And they start giving us stuff. And if you look at that, it was a repeat of what you know in 1992, because you got with Bill Clinton, you got with Maxine Waters, you got with all these big figures after the looting took place in 1992. You was one of the spokesmen that brought the Crips and the Bloods together, you know, and solidified that. And you also brought politics to the situation to where people listened to us, because they did the same thing. They stopped messing with us. We was able to run inside of stores, take jewelry, take this, take that. They were scared of us. So they was like, let them burn that. Let them destroy their own stuff. And somehow they gave us some type of power in doing that. At least we feel that we was empowered, that they were scared of us. They wasn't scared of us. They was trying to create their next plan to really get rid of us. Now they was saying, we got to get rid of these niggas.
Yeah. We're the part of the lynch letter.
That's
See, that part right there where we divide and conquer. They use our generation to divide and conquer. Because like you said, we was retaliated. We was very aggressive at bars coming at our generation like that. We ain't having that. We free. We ain't having this here. We're going to get what we got. Y'all gave us this here. Now we taking advantage here. And that's when they came in. We got to divide and conquer. Now we got to label them as gang members. Now we got to separate the two because we're smarter than 1965.
Yeah, you know, they brought Martin Luther King in 1965, and Martin Luther King was saying nonviolent. They was like, hell no, an eye for an eye out here, brother. We move eye for an eye. Like, we ain't trying to hear all that passive shit. We talking about eye for an eye. They choking us out. They beating us up. They sicking dogs on it. We don't do that out here. Y'all do that down there, but we not doing that. We more like Huey P. Newton. We out here, we Fred Hampton. Like, that's what we about out here. Because Fred Hampton and Huey P. Newton, they was lacing us to some good stuff back in the days, and their purpose was fine. They was opening up facilities, feeding black families. They was giving us literature. They was doing everything until J. Edgar Hoover came in and demised them.
Yeah. Because we had team post. That's why the word team post came from.
Yeah.
Huh? The word what?
The word team post.
Yes.
Team post, like the so hall center was called Teen Posters, where it created outlets for us to go to have social activities, to have things that we didn't have because we was able to fund and feed for ourselves now. So when they took that away, the program, put that counterproductive agency inside, and took away our program, took away our ability to want programs, put us in a mindset that we can't have these programs, we can't do this here, all this is wrong. That's that Willie Lynch theory. Separate us, turn us against each other, and they're gonna win. And they've been doing that for the longest. The same thing happening, it's happening now.
I just want to say this, man, because we seen a double wave. I mean, if you study recent history when it come to the Panthers, and you had Bunchy Carter and them, you had all these different brothers that was coming up out of that way of thinking and was trying to do certain things for the community on a collective scale, then they COINTELPRO, they set out to destroy them. And when they set out to destroy them, they left a lot of the younger cats with no guidance in the street, and they took to the streets, and they just happened to be young Crips and Bloods. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when they start going to the pen and they start getting that knowledge, they was already stuck because they was giving them an extensive amount of time. You used to go to jail, you do like about 7 years, 13 years, and you home. Mm-hmm. Now you got brothers that they don't even bat an eye when the brothers say, man, I was gone about 25 years. I was gone 30. Yes, it's the norm. But the thing is that the second wave came where you had youngsters coming up looking for them fathers that wasn't there. And so it made it easy for the uprooters and pushers out in the community because they don't have no guidance. Right. They don't have no respect and they don't have no knowledge. And I don't know what happened because when I was up in there, a lot of youngsters come up in there and, they was getting on medication and disrespectful and some of them didn't even realize that some of the stuff they was doing was being disrespectful. And what it was is just basically when that crack era hit.
Like what it is, I think, Vince, is that mama can't raise no man. So it's a lot of 50-year-old boys and 47-year-old, 35-year-old boys because the way the system was designed for us to be separated from our fathers. When they gave us the county, your daddy couldn't be there. So it wasn't no man in the house. So it was mama that was trying to raise a man, and she can't raise no man. So he's a boy.
Yeah.
He's still dressed like a boy.
Yeah.
He's still dressed like in baseball hats and jerseys, and it's a lot of 50-year-old, 47-year-old, 35-year-old boys. They're not men.
Yeah, when I speak in terms of that, though, I'm talking about the male and female.
Well, I'm talking in general about what happened to our dynamics or our family, how we was divided. Like if you was on Section 8, the man cannot be in the house. He even had to hide his clothes. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying, Bone? Yeah. Like when they come over, he had to hide his clothes. So they was dividing our families at that point. That's when they was taking the man out the house. And now a lot of women have became lesbians because of that situation. And a lot of them start going to prison and stuff like that. And now it's like women say bruh more than men do.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to find.
You remember that movie Claudine, don't you?
Well, go ahead, Bone.
I see a lot of women, they start utilizing the words like dead homies and start doing the man mentality because, like you said, they've been took the opportunities away from us back to that Willie Lynch theory, separate the divide, especially when they put us on welfare and made it seem embarrassed to be on welfare, made it seem like, we shouldn't be having our women on welfare and food stuff. No, them is stuff you owe us. Them incentives and per diem that y'all need to give us because of what y'all took from us. They knew that back then. So they bathed us with them little bit of incentives that they gave us. And they, like you say, even now, the man can't be in these low-income houses with these women and these and stuff. They still doing that. You better not get caught up in there with your clothes on.
And that's what make the woman, like when she was young, grew up talking about her independence. So when she talk about her independence, she's talking about her separation from a man. So if you have children and you don't have no men in the house, how are you going to raise a man? A lot of men was raised in prison by other men. Mm-hmm. Not saying that it was like it was like men that had fathers that was taught how to be a man back in the day. They laced me up when I was in prison on how to become a man. That's how I really learned how to become a man, from prison, from education, from a man.
That's true.
From a man, because my father was always in my life ever since, I was a child. So I always had a father in my life. He didn't actually live with my mother at some time. They separated for almost maybe 15 years, and then they got back together, and he died when he was with my mother. You know what I mean? So my daddy always took me fishing. He always taught me valuable lessons. I always had a father and a mother in my life. But I had friends who I never met their fathers. So I know that some men are not men because they wasn't raised by men. They was raised by a woman, unless they had older siblings, brothers, like Vince. Vince is the youngest out of maybe, what, you got 5 brothers?
Yes, got 5 brothers.
And all of them is like older than us. Like, you know, his older brother, I never even met him, Melvin.
Yeah.
Because he was grown.
Yeah.
When I used to come by your house when I was 5, 6 years old,
Yeah,
he already had a house.
Yeah, I got nephews and nieces in their 50s.
Fine, that's what I'm saying. So like,
Yeah.
he had older brothers that they used to teach me, like, you know, like actually, you know, how to be a man. So I had an older brother too that was a man. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of boys out there that don't know how to be men. They're not men. I started seeing that when I was in Folsom. And and another thing, I've been to prison. Like, a lot of people say they've been to jail, but they've been to institutions. Like, I actually been to prison. When I say prison, I'm talking about Pelican Bay, Salinas Valley, Folsom Prison, Tehachapi. I'm talking about I have been to prison where it's real at. You know what I mean? So you had to be a man. Because if you wasn't a man, you was going to get ran up out of there. I've been to 4800. You know what I'm saying, where the hardest Crips on earth was at. I've been there. I survived all that. You know what I mean? So it's like history repeats itself. So you got to pay attention to your past to know where you're going to in your future. And mine is well documented. I remember everything, so that's why I keep my struggle alive, you know, and I stay focused.
Definitely, that second wave came, man, and it was the same results. That those who needed guidance, wasn't nobody there to guide them, and this is what you see. You follow what I'm saying? And it's real. It's real bad because we've been uprooted, man, and we disappearing through gentrification. We disappearing through what they call so-called Planned Parenthood. We disappearing through homosexuality. Because 2 men can't make no babies and 2 women can't make no babies.
Right.
So your population constantly dwindle. And then when you watch these commercials, when they talk about HIV and the pills, most of the people they showing that are gay and kissing on each other is black men.
Right.
And then you might see a sprinkle of another race.
Right.
And it's a method to the madness, man. I'll just say that. You know.
But you know, Vince, it's really simplicity. You know what I'm saying? I mean, things are real simple if you know your history. Like, if you're thinking about, like, I think one of the major things that really made us take a hell of a turning point was cocaine. I think when cocaine came out, it was designed, you know, with the Contra. The Contra, Freeway Rick, you know what I mean? He was naive to what was going on, but they financed their war with the Contra, Oliver North, and all that, with us. Back then, it was easy for us to make money. We was like making a lot of money. We was getting money. Like, everybody had Benzes, everybody had Chevys, everybody had, you could actually stand on the corner. You don't even need no spot. You could just be walking down the street and somebody be like, man, you're rolling. You can make $1,500, $2,000 a night. It was up to you. Money was just that abundant. But we didn't know that when we was selling that stuff, that we was actually financing a whole war. We was financing a whole war for the Contra.
Cold plot, ain't it?
It was a cold plot, and then they give and they take away. We used to sell weed. Now weed is legal. They took away weed from us. Now we can't sell weed. And now the cocaine, we can't sell that because they won't give it to us to sell because they found out a way to sell it themselves to us. Before, they used to need us to go in our neighborhoods and sell drugs for them. I'm not going to mention who I'm talking about, but you know, it's the same people.
It's crazy.
It's a different day.
It's crazy that you said that too, because when they did bring all that stuff down, and cocaine did what even slavery couldn't do, and that was to emotionally detach the black woman from her child. You follow what I'm saying? When she didn't have
And the black man.
type of emotion.
And the black man as well.
Yeah,
they will sell you themselves
that
and
too,
leave you their kids for a bag of drugs.
That too. And when they did that,
hey, hold up, Vince. It's funny that you said that because I remember having a lot of smoker cars. Like I used to have a new car every day and it wasn't mine. For a $20 rock, I had a new car almost every day. I even had people houses that I turned into like spots. I don't know what the hell they went to. I just fed them dope and they left the house to me. When it came to the rent, I paid the rent. I paid the light bill. But I had 5 and 6 different houses, Bone. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, man.
Yeah.
Like Rick James said. You know what I'm saying?
And when they did that, that weakened us, brother, to the point to where they can come in and shove us on up out of there.
That's
why
did.
all them communities that we used to have no longer exist. And they look at you like, nigga, what you doing over here? And all your childhood memories is over there.
Right. When I was a kid,
and it's still in,
I mean,
it's
when I
still
was
in
a
motion.
kid, man, when I was a kid growing up, man, we used to love to go to Long Beach because y'all had the Hut, the talent shows at Cal Poly High. Y'all had Noah's Ark, the Melody.
Right.
You know, them like in the 70s. Them ladies, I'm like 12, 13 years old then. You know what I'm saying? I'm going out there with my boy Freddie, going to the talent show. Then we'll leave the talent show from Cal Poly High and go to a little club, Noah's Ark or the Melody or the Hut. You know, that was exciting to me to go that far, leaving South Central to go to Long Beach and see the new thing. The only time we went to Long Beach as kids was to go to the Pike. You know what I mean? We go to the Pike and want to run in the Mirror House or get the go-kart ride. You know, we didn't have them carnivals at our parks in our community. Y'all had that opportunity, and y'all had the beach. Y'all had, you know, just going to the beach, that little ride a distance away from our community in South Central and East Side. Because, like I said, we didn't have them genders when we was growing up. We just had the homie, my daddy's friends, Barry White and them. All they did was hang out in our communities and teach us how to play baseball, teach us how to survive, teach us the game that we was preparing ourselves to. Right. That I later on figured out that's why 82 cocaine came in. So we was hustling. We started hustling in 82. And Frey Rick, I watched all that come into play in LA. I was 17 years old.
Enterprise and you know what
Third
I mean?
World, huh?
Third World, all that, you know what I'm saying?
All that
Rick, they was all
naive, that came out of us.
I'm not faulting them for what they didn't know because we didn't know either. You know what I mean? But it's just like, you know, like now, you know, the better life, you know, situation to where they rather kick people out of homes that are citizens and make room for people that are not citizen. And this is the only country in the world that you can come to and actually have a baby and that baby could become a citizen. You know, and it's like the Democrats, you know what I mean? Like, it's Republicans and Democrats, and like I'd rather be neutral on joining any type of organization that's not helping me and my people as a citizen. You know what I mean? Because the Democrats need a modern minority. They need a minority, period. Because, you know, Indians, blacks, Asians, any other ethnicity outside of white people vote majority for Democrats. So if they have people that come over and can vote for them, they're gonna protect those people, and they seem like they protect them more than they protect their own citizens.
That's a trip you said that too, because on one end, the Democrats was calling black folks super predators, and they pushed that mass incarceration. And then people speak highly of Trump.
Let's say
Trump called for the death penalty.
You said that. We gotta say Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, the one who called us super predators, and they're the ones that implemented the 3 strikes.
Biden too, because he apologized.
No, but they was the ones that was in office when it was inactive.
Yeah.
They the ones who implemented it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
but see, what I was talking about is the collective, because you was talking about the Democrats.
But we talking 30 years apart. Like we talking about Biden and Bill Clinton are 30 years apart.
No, I ain't talking about in office. I'm saying that he apologized because he said back then he was calling people. Yeah, he was calling people super predators too back then. Right. And he was part of that mass corporation. All of them collectively during that time. Right. What I was just saying, but even people speak highly of Trump. But Trump was calling for the death penalty for them brothers in Central Park in the DNA exonerated.
Yeah, but what I'm saying about the whole political platform is that the Democrats supposed to be for us.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not speaking on. Well, in what my mother and my father is from, they protect Black people's interests. The Republicans do, because they don't allow people to come down there and take jobs that belong to their citizens. That's what I respect about the Republicans.
Yeah.
And they state you're not going to do that. You're not going to have a free fall. You're not going to come over there and just be first. The Republicans are not going to let any individuals become first before they citizens.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I was saying that to say this, that both of them got different stuff
Yeah,
about
but the
them.
ones
Because
that I'm talking
the reason
about,
why I was saying that because
I'm talking about the
I'm
Vince.
aware.
I'm talking about the ones that's supposed to be for us.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Democrats supposed to be for us.
Yeah.
So therefore, they don't supposed to allow people to come. We already, like, if you look at the state of California and Black people in California, if you go downtown Los Angeles, only thing you will see is Black people homeless.
Yeah.
Thousands of Black people. And the reason why they're there is because they're misplaced in their communities by people of other ethnicities coming over here and taking our houses.
Okay, but you understand what I was saying, right?
What I'm saying, if they supposed to be for us,
I was
the
piggybacking
Democrat,
off of what you were saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying is that's not. I don't really associate with neither party. But what I'm saying is a party that's supposed to be for us. It's supposed to help us. Right now, they're allowing like thousands of immigrants to go to New York. And they're running out all the citizens and putting them in our spots.
Yeah.
So they doing that here. You know that because where your job is at, they allow people to come inside of there before they citizens do.
But you do know I was just adding to what you were
Yeah,
saying.
but
I
it's
wasn't
not-
disagreeing.
I understand
I
that.
was just saying that a lot of us, we attach ourselves to the Democrats, right? And I was just saying that really ain't now one of them got us our interests at the best hand, so we have to try to pick the lesser
The
of two
Republicans, to me, have our interests at the best hand because my family is from down south. So I know what the Republicans do. I have lived in Houston. I lived in Mississippi. I lived in Louisiana. I have personal experience to know that if you have illegals working at certain facilities, that the Republicans will send ICE and remove all them. If they start like merging up and getting like deep, they will come over there and get them and deport them. California do not do that.
I know that.
They have sanctuaries. It's a church right on 7th and Atlantic. You have American citizens living in tents in front of there where they have the illegal immigrants inside of there feeding them food.
That's right.
Creating a sanctuary for them. This is called a sanctuary state. Every democratic state that you go to is almost a sanctuary state. That's what I'm talking about. That's what's causing us to have to leave this location right here and go to like Moreno Valley, go to Lancaster, go to all these places that's the desert where ain't no jobs at. Because these same illegals will not rent us houses or apartments in our own neighborhood.
You know, I work downtown LA on
You feel me?
I work downtown on downtown LA on Skid Row.
Yeah.
And I done had a bunch of people come to me and say, hey man, look, we've been in this shelter 3 years. They come in here 6 months, they got their voucher, Section 8 voucher,
That's what
and
I'm
they gone.
And
so
it's
I'm
the
aware,
Democrats that's doing that,
I'm aware
Vince.
of all that. I was just saying.
No, that's what I'm saying. That is the Democrats that's doing that.
I know that.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, see, I'm not defending them. I don't want you.
No, I just want you to be aware of the people that's supposed to be helping us is not helping us.
I'm aware of that.
That's what I'm. That's what my whole
no,
point
I was just
is.
saying. I was just saying that both of them. I was just saying that both of them
Brother,
got
tell you the
history.
truth, I know. Well, I know that the
doing dirt to us.
Republicans.
That's all
I
I
know
was
that the
saying. Both of them
Republicans
do.
is the one that freed us. I know that Abraham Lincoln was a Republican and he freed us.
And I know when Reagan's been in office, he cut off the social programs for us. I know that he did that, and then I know on the back of the mass incarceration was the Bush era. So what I was saying, ain't now one of them really. If you check the history, you can find dirt on both of them.
In 1986, Ronald Reagan stopped all illegals from coming to this country. He stopped them.
Yeah.
Our neighborhood was still protected.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is our neighborhood is gone. Like all the history that we have of all the families that
Wiped
lived
out.
in our neighborhood is gone. We're
Wiped
not
out.
going to be able to tell our kids about Miss Johnson, about Miss Gaither, about Miss Calhoun, about none of the families that made our society, our neighborhood, our neighborhood.
That's right.
Charlie Moe, Herb, James Lewis, like all these people that we grew up and taught us values
That's
about
right.
how to grow up, like real men. Taught us that, man. It's going to be gone. And that comes from the people allowing those people to come in and take our history.
That's
That's
right.
what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Anybody that's supposed to be a friend of you that destroys you is not your friend.
Sure ain't. They say I come for a better life. You mean you come for your better life? Mean to you come in and you say you want a better life, but your better life meaning our destruction or our demise.
And I don't fault them. I don't fault them at all for coming in and want to be able to support their kids. I fault the government for allowing that to take place. And if they come over here and they got green cards and everything and they work their way in society, that's cool. But to come over here and be rewarded with a driving license by Barack Obama, to be awarded with a driving license is like a license to work.
Wiped us
So
out.
that's killing us. Like, why would you give somebody a driving license to take your people's place? Because they want the vote. The dreamers, they want the dreamers to become citizens so they can vote for Democrats, bro.
That's right.
That's who our enemies is.
That's right.
The Democrats are our enemies. What you say, Bone?
It's called trickle down economics, basically. You know what I mean? Basically, they're not holding nobody. The government is not being accountable for what they're distributing out, and they distribute it out in a trickle down economical way. They give it to certain money to certain institutions. They give it programs with a little bit of budget to certain institutions to feed us like pigeon feed. You know what I mean? To just throw us off the level of what we own. It's politics. It's all politics. I help some company right now, a care home. For example, it was some Africans that owned a care home. The black lady owned a care home. She was billing the government $3 million a year on her because the nurse had to go out. The HMOs had to go out to feed these patients, right? See these patients. Normally, HMO patients, they don't have all like the PPO, the private thing. So these big black women was making $3 million a year. The government initially created a program called Operation Storage and Trust Act, where they put shit into play to where these black women couldn't get their money no more. They couldn't even go help these older folks or these younger folks that was sick because the government was giving money out to them too much. They was billing too hard. So they set up a program where they counterintelligence these black programs. That's why we don't get in the care home. That's why you don't see blacks in the care home business, in the medical field of owning their own practices and stuff like that, because they don't want us to have that. They want the Asians to have it. They want the Africans to have it.
You know what, Bone? Let me interject something. Basically, like the white man, are the corporations. They own like Costco's. They own like Sam Club. They own all the major places that sell products that sell in the neighborhood. Like the 7-Elevens buy their stuff from there. All the mom and pop stores. They don't care who actually live or control your neighborhood. As long as you buy their product and keep buying their product and putting it in their stores, they don't care if it's Asian, Black, Indian. I'm saying they don't really care they don't care no more for Mexicans as they do for Blacks, is what I'm saying.
No,
I don't want to come across like a racist or like a hater or nothing, because like people that work hard, they deserve to get what they got. You know what I mean? But sometimes people are not, they blinded. They don't understand like what they're going through or what their situation is until you educate them, and then they start waking up and saying, that's right. That's why this happening, because of this, or because of that. Once they wake up, and then we all be on the same page, and then we'll be able to move forward.
Right.
I want to say this, because we started off talking about the cocaine and destroying the community. When the cocaine hit, it was during the Bush and Reagan era, the Contras. That's when it hit in the 80s. That's why I was saying that when you check the history, ain't now one of them really give a damn about us.
I'm not saying nothing that the Republicans, like I said, I don't care about neither one of them. Yeah. I'm talking about the Republicans let you know that they're not your friends.
Damn sure they do
They
that.
tell
They do
you
that.
that they're not your friend. They're going to let you know that.
They do
I'm
that.
talking about somebody who tells you that they're your friends, like Barack Obama. The way he gave the Mexicans or the South Americans or the Haitis or wherever they come from, how he gave them that license. That license was a license to work. When the last time you went into a restaurant, I'm talking about California, this don't apply to every state, like Atlanta, Houston, Mississippi, Louisiana, North Carolina, all those states are still functioning. Our people are still doing good. So I just want to warn my people about the wolves in sheep clothing.
Man.
So they'll be aware of what a wolf is, how he comes. He comes like real nice. He bear flowers. He bear flowers, but you got to know that he's a ravishing wolf and he wants everything that you have. He'll eat your kids. He'll eat your dog. He'll eat and take everything that you have. He don't care about you. That's what the whole point is. I'm not saying Republican or I don't really care for neither. But the Republicans point out to you that they are your enemies, just like they stormed on the Capitol building and they called the brother that was a police a nigger, and it was beating up all whoever didn't look like them more than they was beating up the ones that look like them.
That's right.
So I know that they don't care about, but they implement their laws, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They implement their laws better than our friends, or are supposed to be friends.
So-called friends.
So-called friends.
Yeah.
You know what I
Real
mean?
talk.
So that's what I'm saying. We got to call a spade, man.
Yeah.
We got to start like looking at stuff and directing that how we feel, not the way we somebody tell us to feel about it. What is the true nature of what they doing?
You observing. That's why I said both of them were spades. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, they are.
It's just one that kept the mother cats away, that came in and uprooted us, and the other ones, they smiled in our face and let them in. And now we in a real mess. I was at King Park today. I walked through there. I didn't see nobody up in there that I knew.
Bro, on doing Martin Luther King's birthday, we don't see nothing but
other people
instead of ourselves. So, but that's in California. That's, like I said, it's not like that in Houston. It's not like that I've been to Houston. I lived in Houston. It's not like that in Mississippi, Louisiana. It's not like any of the states that I tour at. You know, they still the same. It's just the border states that's being affected by this because, like I said, the Democrats are supporting the vote. That's what they want. They don't care how, like, if you go around California and you look at the state of, like, a lot of black people, they walking down the street with blankets on, like, talking to themselves, like, you know, it's terrible, man. Like, if you go downtown, like Los Angeles, you see kids that's homeless. I mean, it's just, hey, bro, come on now.
I work down there. So.
Yeah, and then like all the projects that they gave us back in the days, like we not in them projects no more, man. Like, you know, we're not there no more.
Sleeping on concrete and tents.
Yeah, that's what we like, and that's our reality is that the drugs, not saying that it didn't affect, because I done been to St. Louis, I done been to Detroit, I done been in areas I didn't understand why this whole block is empty. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the drugs that did that, like in St. Louis. Like, you got whole blocks. You can actually see in some people's house from outside. They doing that bad, Bone. I can't hear you, Bone.
Especially St. Louis, and all of the places, they deal with homeless, they deal with refugees, they dealing with that fact because they come from that fact. See, we were supposed to be like the promised land of the United States, California. Like I said, everybody broke west. Wasn't never no slavery in California. It was Mexicans out here way back then. If you look at back in the centuries, California was Mexico City all the way up to the Bay Area.
Right.
All that's why it's like called Sacramento, San Francisco, Vallejo, Benicia Road. All these it was Mexicans owned these cities up here. It was a Mexican that owned Vallejo, right? They made him sell his company, sell his city for some beans.
What?
A bean company. He named Benicia Road. Benicia, the city of Benicia, Benicia Road is named after his wife. It was a Mexican that owned that.
Yeah.
They made him buy these coffee bean company and trade his city for some coffee bean company. And he opened up a coffee company. I don't know where it went to, but these white folks came and took over Vallejo and all these cities from these Mexicans back
Yeah,
then
I mean,
and
it's,
opened
you
them
know,
up.
like Los Angeles is called Los Angeles. You know what I mean? Like any citizen that was born here, you know, I respect them. I'm not talking about citizens that was
No, yeah.
born here. I'm talking about
Them Chicanos. We grew up with
yeah, we
Chicanos.
grew up with Chicanos. Like, you know, we grew up in the same, like they had they part of the neighborhood, we had our part of the neighborhood, and we, you know, we went about our day. You know, it wasn't no problem. But I'm talking about the flood of illegal immigrants into this country is causing the country to like, it affects us. Like, it make it hard on the hospitals, it make it hard on the county system. I remember when I was young and I didn't have a job and I was on GR, I was receiving $648, you know, a month, and I was getting like, what, $500 or $600 in food stamps for assistance. Now it's like, man,
Crumbs.
it's crumbs now. You
Give
can't
me
even,
$200.
What
Give you gate money.
basically what he's saying is that when this flood come, they depleted a lot of the resources and everything is scarce. And when it comes to prioritizing certain things, like if I'm a citizen and I'm homeless and he's not a citizen, he comes from somewhere else, then I should be placed in a home before him. Why? Because I'm a citizen.
Right.
But they're not doing that. And the reason why, because the powers that be are the same people who placing in them, they're looking out for their own people. And
Right.
it's pushing us in the gutter.
Right.
And like I say, I work downtown LA. So I see brothers and sisters walking around to cope they own drugs, you know, sores all over their body, sleeping in tents, and it's real cold outside. In the summertime, it's extremely hot. You know what I mean? It's so bad to where they can damn you commit any crime outside of a murder before they even arrested. Why? Because the police don't want them in their cars because they smell so bad or they so filthy. So this is what we're looking at. And then when you go towards Broadway and Figueroa and all that, you see all these sky rises, and then you see the Staples Center and all that. But just come further east and you see people living like in a world of its own. Like 12 o'clock at night or either 1 o'clock in the morning, they walking around like zombies, man. I mean, piles and piles of nothing but black folk and a sprinkle of everybody else. And
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That
That's
is what I
my
mean
connection,
by
but see, downtown
if somebody
is my
had your
district.
interest at heart, you know, they will like really reach out to people in the community and say, how can we fix this? Like, you know, like in California, like rent control, like they don't really, like you actually gotta have like 2 incomes here in order to survive. Say if your house is like $2,500 a month, so therefore that's $30,000. You know what I mean? That's not even a light bill, a gas bill, none of that.
But one of the things is that they shovel this money to all these different companies and everything else to fix the homeless situation. But just like when we used to talk about how the police didn't want crime to stop in LA because they have to cut people loose and they'll lose jobs, same thing with homelessness. If they cleaned up the homelessness, then a lot of them would be out of jobs. So they want to keep people down there because they get money off of that.
Yeah, but
I seen them
remember a
feeding
time-
people and then tell them ain't no more food, and then
But
they walking out with bags of food.
I remember a time, Vince, where it wasn't that many homeless people. Like,
Me too.
only homeless person I know, and you know him too, was Wino Willie.
Mhm.
Wino Willie sat in the field every day with his couch, and that's the only homeless person growing up that I actually remember.
That's just like in downtown LA. It used to be just close to 5th and Main.
Right,
But now
right.
it's all over.
Because that's what happened to our community. Like, when we start losing our houses, we start using drugs. That's where they end up at. Like, you can go downtown Los Angeles and see somebody you ain't seen in 15 years because they ain't made it home.
Down there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuck.
Yeah.
Stuck.
Yeah, and that's in my district. See, the downtown Los Angeles is my district. We're the 9th district. That's our district down there. It's like when they moved them from downtown, they moved them south for the 10 freeway, and they started living along the side of the freeway. That's when they started moving to the side, because they built the big buildings and stuff down there. So they had to get rid of them, and they didn't give them no place to go. They just pushed them down south, more in our community. Now they're on the one way across. If you go down the 110 freeway and you pass overpass from Vernon to Slauson to Gage and Florence and 51st Street exit, all them overpass is tents up there now.
Right.
All that sidewalk, that walls, that one ways, it's all tents now. Them was homies in there.
Bone, and what I'm saying is that right there, that comes from our neighborhood, from all our neighborhoods.
That comes from our neighborhood. That comes from us, man.
It comes from Los Angeles, it comes from Long Beach, it comes from Linwood, it comes from them. Them are our people, and that's what happened to them, is what I'm saying. And if we had the people that's leading this country, it's supposed to be our friends. The people that's leading this country for the last 20 years, 16 years, starting with Obama, is supposed to be our friends, man. How did that happen? Starting with Obama. So that was, Obama got elected in what, 2008? So since 2008, it's been ran by Democrats. And look at the state of our people.
Toe up.
Look, man, like, how can your friend do you like that? What kind of friend is that? What kind of friend is that, Bone?
Ain't no friend.
That ain't no friend. That's an enemy.
That ain't no friend.
That's a
they just
frenemy.
utilize the power to be.
Yeah,
you heard
man.
that old song
they worse than the
time
people.
ago?
They worse than the people that's supposed to be our enemies.
And it's crazy, man. Here's some people that wish they can live like you and want to be in your position. Now that they're here, they have a condescending attitude, like you beneath them. They treat you like straight up dirt. You know what I mean?
Like, I feel that. That's why when I go out of state and I go to Texas or I go to Mississippi or Louisiana, I feel good because I don't feel that feeling. You know, that they give you that vibe. Like they look at you like you ain't nothing, man. Like you ain't nothing.
That's how they look at you.
You know what I'm saying? But the people at the top, like say like LeBron James or Oprah Winfrey, like they love them. They idolize them. They just don't like the normal people like us.
The so-called basic Negro.
The basic Negro. They like the super Negro, but they don't like, they love all our music. They love our dance. They love our culture. They love everything about us. They just don't love us. So we fighting like we fighting like multiple enemies.
Including
ourselves.
There you go.
Because we are our biggest enemies. We are haters to each other. We envy each other. We don't help each other. We talk bad about each other as soon as we out of sights. You know what I'm saying? We two-faced it, and we can't come together about no decisions besides when something like happened with like Trayvon Martin or Mike Brown. And then we all out there rah-rahing, you know what I'm saying, until about a week later or 2 weeks, and then it wear off, and then we back to hating each other and shooting each other.
And then most of the people that come out to the protests ain't us. Just think about it. Most of the marches that the people come out to don't be the people in your community, be people outside your community coming to the marches. All of a sudden you see all these different people, and you look at them crowds at marching, you don't see nobody you know but maybe 3 or 4 people out your community.
It's a trip. He said that because I was watching the news when they had the Trayvon Martin thing and what's his name, George Floyd, and they was marching and protesting in Long Beach. They had some dudes that was vandalizing and trying to break into stores, and they wasn't even from Long Beach.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I done heard that before.
They was like, I don't know if they looked like they was Asian or something like that. You
right.
know what I mean? And they was like, man, y'all don't come destroying our city, man. You know, they taking bricks, because remember they boarded up a lot of the stuff because they figured it was going to be another one of the things that happened.
Well, that's our trend that we was talking about earlier from 65, you know what I'm saying, to 92. It's our thing. It's like what makes them scared of us. But we feel like when we did that, and then, you know, like Mississippi Burning. Bone, you ever seen that? Mississippi Burning? You remember when they was burning up the city and the police said, let them go on ahead and burn it up. That's what they do. Let them go on ahead. Even fictionally, you know what I'm saying, we do that, bro. Because that's one of our things that we do when we get upset. We burn down the town.
You remember Rwanda? When Nick Nolte was playing the dude, he said the they was talking about coming to help the African. They said we consider them lower than we do the American blacks. So he was basically letting them know that they consider us low even over here in this day. That's what they say. No matter how much money you got or what your status is, you still ain't nothing but that N word.
Right.
You dig?
I remember I was with Snoop and he was invited to this gala with the mayor of Houston, man. And when we went in there, man, I seen the most cleanest, beautifulest looking black people I ever saw in my motherfucking life, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, God damn. And then there was like doctors. They was like, you know, the mayor, the chief of the police. It was like, you know, like nurses, like professional people. And it was like a lot of them. I'm talking about like a lot. And I was like, damn.
Who was this at?
This is in Houston.
In Houston.
I had been in California so long that I didn't even think that existed no more. But when I saw it, I was like, man, I gotta move to Houston, man. I gotta move to Houston. And when I got there, it was like people had nice homes, nice cars, you know, jobs. The youngsters worked. It was like, damn, that's the way it used to be in California. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it still exists. It's like that when I go to Atlanta. People got jobs. Man, you could be in Atlanta and standing on the corner and 50 cars that come through, all females, man, like with different colors, orange and green with their big rims and they nice insides, like, and you be like, damn. And then a whole bunch of brothers that come through on motorcycles, brand new motorcycles, and you be like, God damn, it's not like that in California.
Sure ain't.
It still exists, and people be like scared to move. Like sometimes you gotta be on some Marcus Garvey shit, man. You gotta relocate, bro. Like if the situation is better for you there, you gotta go there and you gotta be vigilant. You gotta know where you come from, and you gotta spread that so it don't happen in the place that you're at.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The reason why they can't do us the way they do, like in Houston, because the chief of police is black. The mayor is black. The doctors is black. The dentist is black. Everybody is black. So you can't swindle them because they're in a position of power.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to let you do that to their people. But if you get some people to where it's other ethnicities, man, you going to be last, bro.
Real talk.
You know what I'm saying? You going real talk.
And
that's what this is.
And they'll try to get you. I'm telling you. They will swindle you.
And at this age right here, Bone, they don't even want us in prison no more. They don't want us in prison no more because we cost too much. I ain't been pulled over, knock on wood, man. I ain't been pulled over by the police in 20 years. And when I did get pulled over, they like, okay, Mr. Brighter, you can go ahead and go. They ain't asked to search my car, like nothing. We too old, bro.
Yeah.
We cost too much to be in there.
That's like in Oakland. Up here in Oakland, they so cold in Oakland, the police, you can ride around up here with no tags, no license, double park on the island and play your music loud with all windows down, 4 deep in the car. They not pulling you over for nothing. The only thing they looking for is guns and drugs and niggas that's flying through this motherfucker driving crazy like that takeover stuff. Other than that, an old man like us, man, we can sit back, double park, smoke our weed, or drink our drink. They not pulling you over. They not saying nothing.
You know, it's a lot of homies. It's a lot of homies that then died because of that. It's a lot of homies that then died on the streets because they can't go back to jail. They're institutionalized, and jail is what saved them. You remember they used to get out, smoke, get back on swole, come back out, smoke, get back on swole. That was the cycle of their life. And now the police don't pick them up, so they end up downtown. They end up downtown Los Angeles because they can't go back to jail. And when they go to jail, the judge say, let him out. He back out on the streets. He don't even want to go back to the streets. But he back on the streets. They don't even want him no more, man. They don't. Our people our age, because we got high blood pressure, we got diabetes, we cost too much money. You cost more than what they making from you.
That's right. That's right.
So,
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's trickle down economics, man. They don't want us here now. They want to take over us. They want to hide us to place. I remember back in the days when they used to have us in the county jails and they was giving us some Thorazine. Remember they was giving them Thorazine pills that slow you down. And you really make you crazy. Have a nigga really going out there going crazy, come out of 4700 or the Dean back ward. You know what I mean? Some of these dudes went there to play it, but couldn't play it because these folks, what happens, you play it, you're gonna really go crazy. You're gonna really be on that Thorazine. You're gonna get out there on these streets and you're gonna have no guidance or nothing. They took the best and broke them down in jail. That's why they came home institutional. That's why they came home crazy, because they didn't hit that Thorazine and they done put that sweet Peter Weeder up in the food where your dick couldn't get hard, and at
Saltpeter.
the same time fucking the mentality up and everything.
Saltpeter.
They've been doing that for
That's what they
juveniles.
should do. Yeah, they keep you, because a lot of cats in the 80s was doing certain things that inmates or just in the county.
Heck
But
yeah.
what I wanted to ask y'all, because the brother already told me a lot of the people you interact with in the past, big wigs, so to speak. Do you think that this stuff can ever be reversed till we can be put in place of respect in California
I think
ever
so.
again? And if so, how?
I think that if we all come to acknowledge the things that we're talking about, we can better improve our situation. The first thing that we have to do as Black people is come to an understanding of our own faults, our own ignorance, and accept our own demise of ourselves. Like, I think that we can. Once we come and we got to form our own party. We got to have a third party outside of Republicans and the Democrats. We got to have a third party to where we communicate with each other about our ideas and what we think in our communities, how we need to get back to us. It's simple. Like, I think that we can because we know our losses. So if we gain, we can see our gains.
Who would be reachable in that crowd? Because remember I told you I work down there and it's a lot of people. Some of it's self-induced. I don't know what it is, but a lot of our people suffer from mental illnesses. Would you go after the younger ones before they get to that point?
Well, what I would try to do is I would try to start with what we are. Like, I'm a Crip. So, you know what I mean? I'm always going to be a Crip, and it's my tribe. So I think that Crips and Bloods can start because we strong. I think that we can start communicating with each other and get on the path to where people who didn't involve themselves in gangs can come in too with the same mentality and focus in on being Black. You know what I mean? So because there's so many Crips. It's like, what, 5 million, maybe 10 million or something throughout.
All the way
How many
to the
you think it
motherland.
is? Bone, how many? We got to form our own.
Yeah.
We got to form our own party. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bloods, the Crips, the Gangster Disciples, the GDs, the Vice Lords, like all of us, like get together and come with a way that we can like sit down and talk about our situation and make it better for Black people, for our kids, for our cities.
And we did that. And we did that in '92 when we went out there and it was called a United for Peace. That's when the GDs turned themselves to growth and development, and they created that mechanism off what the Vice Lords had did a long time ago with the white dude that came in.
We have did it like
did that.
Like we did the Crip party, you know what I'm saying, like for Snoop's birthday, and it was well received.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well
it was well received, and the Bloods has always been, like socially like together. They like always been like, like our brothers, you know what I'm saying? Just like from another mother. You know what I'm saying? But we always, like, we in the pen, we like one. Like, we talk to each other, we get along. That's where most of our understanding stem from jail. You know what I'm saying? We've been to youth authority together, camps together. Like, we basically grew up together. So, at some time, we talk. You know what I mean? Even in the entertainment field, like Snoop. I work for Snoop Dogg, and him and Game get along. He get along with YG. He get along with a lot of Bloods, and a lot of Bloods get along with a lot of Crips. They do songs together, like YG and Nipsey Hussle. They do songs together. They they understand that we all Black.
Okay, in the Crip world and in the Blood world, I know that for some reason the younger generation and the older generation don't have a relationship, meaning that they're not listening to the older people. What would be the approach to try to get the younger? Well,
they're not listening to the older people because the older people is not leading by example. Like if we get together and we can get funded, like we can get funds from the government. Like, we have power. We have power, real power. You know what I mean? Like, we got like powerful people. Like, we have like celebrities that's like stars, like, and they have voices. Like, you know what I mean? We get people behind us that have voices and support us. We get funded. We get funded. Just like how much money you think they didn't get to Ukraine? They didn't get to Ukraine like billions of dollars. Like, and they're not even American citizens. So why can't we get billions of dollars to set up like programs like for our youth? You know what I mean? Why can't we get financing? Democrats, are you our friends like you say you are? Why can't you help us?
Well, we still wrestling with them just over reparations. You dig?
Well, I'm not talking about reparations. I'm talking about like, if we all come together. If you come together, Vince, if we all come together, they will give you something to work. That they want you to be together, but they think that we can't be together. That's what the problem is. They think that they tried to work with us for so long and we unworkable. That's what they believe. You know what I'm saying? Like, when the drugs came into play, like I said, like, we actually, that was our career. Like, most of us, like, I mean, thousands of us, from here to Oakland, that was our occupation. Thousands of us was selling drugs. So they looked at us and said, well, damn, man, we need a modern minority. And so that's when they start flooding the country in with modern minority. I remember you used to be able to go in Burger Kings and Jack in the Box and McDonald's and see black kids in there. No, you don't see black kids in there no more. You see older foreign people taking those college jobs and making it a career. It's their career now at Burger Kings.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And another thing is, we can't live with each other. You take some minorities and they will stay in the same house, 4 families, 4 different refrigerators, and they will save their money until this family able to buy a house. We black folks, we can't live with each other like that. Okay. We complain when the cousin come over. I can't wait till that nigga leave.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So after 4 days, that nigga gotta go, man.
Feet smelling, eating up all the kids' cereal.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bruh, like, man.
Arguing with my 8-year-old over the TV, who gonna watch what?
Like, we gotta come to an understanding.
That's why I say that mentality was established a long time ago.
If we can talk about it, we can fix it. We have power, Vince. We have real power. Black people have power in the United States. Some of the biggest stars in the world is black. The most famous person,
Jay-Z.
the most famous person that ever lived is black, and his name is Michael Jackson. He's the most famous person that ever lived on this earth is Michael Jackson. So we got famous people, man.
Michael Jackson wasn't black though.
He used to be.
I seen him. That wasn't no black man.
I'm just saying, man. Like,
he was a brother, and he never lost his soul, never lost his rhythm. He was a brother.
Another thing about it is I'm not. Another thing about it is I'm not trying to be racist or trying to ridicule any other culture or nothing, because I know that I'm from a race that's like, it's like a billion of us, like. Everywhere. I done been all over, the planet, man. I've been to Brussels, I've been to London, I've been to Germany, and I see black people everywhere I went. So we on islands, man. We everywhere. Like, you can't go nowhere and not see us. Like, I can go places and not see those people that I'm talking about. Majority of them, I don't see them in these places, but we so multituded that we everywhere, man. Like, we are a big ass goddamn race. We not no little ass. We talking about the demographics.
Are they going through what we going through over here in California, in them places?
No, they're not.
Because they got
ain't nobody going through what we going through in California.
Man, black folk at the bottom of the barrel.
You ain't been to these other states, so you can't relate to it. But I can take you somewhere to where I put you in front of the school, and when the school let out, you ain't gonna see nothing but black kids. That still exists. But a lot of kids out here, they don't know that because they grew up going to school with a whole bunch of different people that wasn't like them.
My baby,
Right,
she's
right. At
9
the
years
school, but
old.
usually black. Yeah.
She's 9 years old. It ain't but 2 blacks in her class.
I know. Now, when we went to school, the whole class was black.
Mm-hmm.
The whole class was like used to be able to roll up to
teacher and
Poly.
everything.
Used to be able to roll up to Poly, bro, and stand outside. Everybody that come out of there was black.
Mm-hmm.
It's the demographics that change. That's what I'm saying. That's
gentrification.
The gentrification. That's the gentrification.
And what they're doing now, they put them in a charter school. See, our black kids is in a charter school with less funding and less educational resources because the charter schools are independent schools, and the public schools is holding all the immigrants and everybody else with public funding that they're not really utilizing. Our parks got funded. We could throw festivals in our parks for arts and culture. It's money allocated. Every park has an allocation of arts and culture. We don't throw arts and culture. We don't throw festivals in our parks. We don't do that. What they do that money for?
We used to.
Gates and lights.
We used to have like arts and craft at our park growing up. We was able to make. You know what I'm talking about, Vince? We was able to make certain stuff. I forgot the material.
You had metal shop, wood shop, home economics. You had driver's ed, all that in school.
And on Saturdays at Kings Park, we used to have like the African drummers. They used to come through, and we used to set out. We had our own stage. We used to set out and eat. Man, I mean the whole park, bro.
KGLH, 1580 K-Day, all that used to come. All the King Park. You know what I mean? And you had the brothers with the dashikis on, they playing the congos, you got food, everybody barbecuing and everything. You know, that's gone, man.
That's gone, but it's like we still, like, I don't know about your neighborhood, Bone, but in my neighborhood, we got churches. Like, we got a lot of churches, and we still have majority of all our churches. They still come back. They still come back and go to church. You know what I'm saying? And those churches that we have them like in corners all over the neighborhood in Long Beach. You know what I mean? So we haven't lost them. The membership probably dropped because everybody can't make it back from Ontario every Sunday or from Moreno Valley or Victorville, wherever they're at. They can't make it every Sunday, but they do show up.
I done went to like...
Yeah, we have that, like, we just had the reverends right now. Tomorrow, the Reverend, they met with us last week with the homies and them last week, United We Stand. They met with a lot of brothers. So the Reverend's doing, they call it apology tour. So tomorrow, they're going to leave out their services in LA and with our community and other communities, even up here, at their apology tour. They're going to leave out their service at 12 o'clock and engage into the communities that their churches is in. This is something they're supposed to be doing tomorrow all over LA and the Bay Area. I'll see how many, but I know the church in our communities, he participates because he's spearheading this here. So they met with the Bloods and Crips, with us, the East Coast, the Villains, the Pueblos, the Outlaws. They met with us all last week, the Kitchens and stuff, and they said that they're going to come up. About 8 reverends came to this meeting, and they all said what they're going to do tomorrow with our community start. They want to apologize for not being service and supportive in our community and helping us in our endeavors and helping us build what we need to build back, whether it be the church, our community, economically, and prosperity, though. So that's what they're supposed to be doing tomorrow, called apology tour. So we'll see what that's going to take out tomorrow.
You remember that? You remember right there on 21st and Orange when they used to have the temple right there, and they changed it to Masjid Al Sharif when it came up under Al Islam. It went up in there. Man, it was maybe you had like about 25 black folk.
Yeah,
the rest was from somewhere else.
Yeah, man. It's like the whole neighborhood we know it's been depleted. Like, I mean, but it's like we can have the mindset to know that. Like I was saying earlier, a lot of people don't know what happened. They don't know why it happened because a lot of people ain't never been nowhere else to see the difference. So they just accept it as being normal. Like a lot of kids was born into that. Like a lot of kids was born like in 2000 and 90, 99 and 98. And it started changing like that. So they think that when they be at the surfboard park and they only be 2 of them there and all the rest of different ethnicities, that they think that that's normal. That in our neighborhood, that is not normal.
No,
it's not the way we grew up.
Yeah,
so it's like if you don't, what I'm saying basically,
exposure.
If you don't watch your neighborhood, you're gonna lose your neighborhood. You know what I mean? And if you don't know what happened to your neighborhood, I hope what we saying enlighten you to what happened. The transition in your neighborhood was a thought out plan. It didn't just happen just because people wanted to like move. No, it happened
was a plot.
instrumentically. It happened by management companies putting certain people in position to manage their companies. And when they start managing those companies, when certain people come in to try to get location, they won't give it to you. And then when they give you a Section 8 voucher, it's for way in the hell out there.
Yeah.
So they want you to go from there to Las Vegas, to Utah, to New Mexico, to wherever the hell you come back, where you come from.
That's right.
Once you get in that desert and realize ain't nowhere to go from there, you're going to either try to get back to where you come from, or you're going to try to get back to where you really come from.
That's
Bone?
right.
Yeah. Yeah, because, you know, it's sad because I got a lot of homies that moved up to Barstow, Victorville, even in Vegas, and they want to come back home, and you can't because it's not affordable for you no more. And they're not, I mean, if it was, they're not going to sell it to you.
Straight desert.
They're not going to sell it to you because it's not affordable.
You're saying like when you trying to go to, like when you go to Vegas, you know, the economy, I mean, is different from California. So you get there, it's comfortable in paying the rent there. And then when you get tired of it and then you think about coming back here, I mean, you can't, man. It's like it's not affordable.
Well, I got a brother that live in Vegas, right? And he came and picked me up from the Cromwell. Remember we was out there?
Right.
And it was like 11:30 at night. Yeah, Glenn. Yeah, he came at about 11:30 at night. Man, it was like 98 degrees outside at 11:30 at night. I get to his house. My nephews and nieces, they got big, like overweight big. And I'm like, man, how y'all? And they're like, we can't go nowhere. It's too hot outside. I said, bro, that ain't living. Y'all just existing. That ain't living. You know, you don't want to go and get a nice house and
Vince,
can't come out of it.
You just hit a hell of a point, what you just said. That's what it's like in California.
Yeah.
You're not living the way we live, the way they existing.
Yeah, you just existing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the point right there.
You're not living. I'm
and we can live. If we get our minds straight, we can start back living. Like it's simplicity. It's basically like our ordeal is simple, man. It's fixable. It's like we gotta acknowledge, first of all, how we do each other.
First.
And then restorations is an individual thing. Like we looking for a group thing. We need something to help us to get on our feet. We need a hand up, not a handout. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And once we get the hand up and we start talking to our people the way Fred Hampton and Huey P. Newton used to talk and care for us genuinely. They care for us so much that they carried their goddamn guns and they was willing to die for us. You know what I mean?
And they did.
And they did. And they died. You know? And it's like we gotta be like that. I think that, you know, if we come to terms with what's going on with ourselves, I think we can better approach the situation, you know.
Definitely got to get their minds and their hearts in the right place, man, because, you know, sometimes, man, I remember a brother told me in the pen, he said, man, sometimes when you're trying to have a massive change, then a lot of people have to die. The reason why is because just like you standing up for what's right and you would die for what's right, you got people stand up for wickedness and
the devil is real, man.
And they're willing to die for that.
Yeah, the devil is real.
They attach themselves to you and try to sabotage everything
is real,
you do.
Vince. He here with us. He here with us, and he more apparent now.
Yeah,
he's really showing himself. Like he is real. He been showing himself. To me, I've been noticing that since the pandemic, anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that you just was talking to somebody call you and say, man, you know, what's the name just died. You didn't see nothing that was wrong with you. Nothing. The farthest thing from your mind, when they mention the person's name, like what he did now. You don't know he did.
Yeah.
So the devil is real and he got tricks, but he letting you know that he here. He here, Bone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
it's the
here.
biggest trick he ever pulled.
Mm-hmm.
And remember that song, that thing that boy said on that movie? The biggest trick the devil ever pulled made people believe that he don't exist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he
Yeah.
letting you know he exists now.
And
He
one
said,
of
you know he exists right now.
yeah,
You know, God gave him 2,000 years to do his due. This 2,022 years after his due tradition. So he's throwing everything he got at you right now because he know his days are coming. And it's
yeah,
going to be
Right.
a new trend, a new opening,
yeah.
a new beginning. But
Right.
And
to then, shit, he's tearing ass and stuff right now.
and
It's
one of
his
the
favorite time of the
yeah.
year.
And one of the things in the Quran it says the devil will make wrong fair seeming. That's why you got so many people convinced that a lot of this stuff is right because
No.
because you got smooth sayers that can talk.
Like what? Like a lot of what stuff is right?
But you know when they talk about that, hey, look, alternative lifestyle. You follow what I'm saying? We gonna teach this in public schools, and the parents ain't got nothing to say so about it. Parent telling this child to do something, child tell them F you, and they said, well, I can't whoop them because they're gonna call the police and I lose my job. But they'll argue this stuff in front of a bunch of people, and the people are like, yeah, that makes sense. And that's why they say the devil can make wrong fair seeming, make it seem like it's right when they get finished talking, and it's destroying us, man. You follow
Right.
what I'm saying? You got so many kids
Yeah.
that not only will they jump on their parents, some of them will kill their parents. You follow what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right
And
now,
parents,
talk crazy to us.
exactly. So this is what I'm talking about when you see a lot of stuff that's backwards, and you're like, damn, how can you go for that? Because you got some cats that's articulated enough to convince them. I was watching a thing that Gangsta Blue showed me, rest in peace, on Nugenics and all this, and they was talking about Planned Parenthood, and I think it was Asian people was like maybe 4% of aborting their babies.
Uh-huh.
Hispanics was like 8%, and whites made up like about 17, 18% or something like that.
Okay, wait
But
for it.
but black folks made up 49% of killing their babies, man. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's a form of population control too.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I mean?
Planned Parenthood. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
That talk to black people about you shouldn't bring that baby into this world because you already on Section 8. You already got this, and you all gone get that baby a chance with God.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they do that shit.
Yeah.
Them devils, man.
Sends
I
their own
remember a
kids to
brother told
death,
me a
man.
story. I remember a brother told me a story a long time ago in '92. This brother Malik, he had told me a story, man, and it sticks with me to this day, and it's the truth. He said, man, I went to a store where they were selling the brains, of each race. You get this brain, you buy these brains. He said, I went to the store. He said, man, how much you want for this Asian brain? He said, man, give me $3 billion for this Asian brain. He said, why $3 billion for the Asian brain? He said, man, because they in the computers, they selling everything made in China. As you see in your toys, everything you buying over here, they getting the money over here. He said, okay, but dang. He said, how much you want for this Mexican brain? He said, man, give me about 100 million, 300 million for them. He said, why so little for them? He said, but they work hard. They work for nothing. They come in masses. They're going to do all the labor outside in your yard. They're going to paint your house. They're going to do everything they want to the handyman thing. They're going to do everything. So give me 300 million for them. He said, okay, how much you want for the Caucasian brain? He said, man, you got to give me about 4 billion for them. Why so much for them? They overruled, they manipulated, they took everything and ran with it and got everybody going haywire. They controlling the money, the economics, and everything. So there's a little curtain over there. He said, well, dang, this is behind this curtain over there. He said, well, what's over there? He said, man, that's something I don't think you want me messing with. He said, what is it? He said, that's the black brain. The African Americans, the black folks over here in America. He said, how much you want for that brain? He said, it's priceless, brand on the box, never been used.
Said never been used.
Oh man, that's some funny shit, man.
Yeah,
We ain't never used our shit. They can't put no price on. We never
But
used
we
what
have
we
though
got.
because we was the first society, man. We was the first kings and queens on this earth, man. I mean, we was the pharaohs, man. I mean, everything great,
Yeah.
it came from us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
The Lord.
history dictates that you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They found the oldest skeleton, you know what I'm saying, to in the world, Lucy, and that's like millions of years old, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like 6
Yeah.
million years old or something.
It ain't just that. It's
Yeah,
that
we're
a
the
lot of the
first.
stuff that they took credit for over here, we invented.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
not starting from here. It's starting from the Greeks. It started from the Greeks, and then it went to the Romans. You know, Alexander the Great was one of the first greats, and then the Romans took it, Caesar took it, and then the British took it, and the British is now. Like the British, the one who established the colonials in America, and all his philosophies is here. You know what I'm saying? The British didn't believe in slavery because they believed that the king of British, he believed that everybody was slave. He wouldn't enslave black people. He wouldn't enslave Asians. He enslaved everybody was a slave. So that's why he didn't believe that get black people and work them and all that stuff. Them white folks know when they left Europe that we was right next door. You can fly from Europe to Africa in 1 hour. It take us 16 hours to 12 hours to get from here to there. They knew we was right next door to them. They know us. They wasn't new. They wasn't like, who we gonna get to plant? And who we can't get these Indians because they crazy. Let's go get them niggas. They knew we was right next door to them. We right next door to Europe, Asia, and like from goddamn China, you can look right over at Russia from the water, Bone. You know that, don't you? Yeah. Like, and when you in Michigan, Vince, you can see Canada. It's right across the water, man. It's actually right across the water. We can walk there. There's certain parts that you can walk across the street and you be in Canada from America. And certain parts of, what is that at, New York or something?
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
right
So
here,
this
right
thing,
here.
them white folks know that we was in Africa. They didn't just pop up and get us. They've been doing trades with us for hundreds of years.
Greeks.
Yeah, and we didn't actually, they didn't come over there and whoop us and take us. No, we sold ourselves. They went over there, found a few black dudes that had power and gave them some blankets, gave them some rifle, gave them some sugar, some honey, and all that, and rum and all that, and they sold us. That's why Africans right now say, oh, no, we don't mess with American. They're not black. They're not African. They black. They American. They don't mess with us, man. Nigerians, South Africans, they don't mess with us.
Don't mess with us. You ever notice that you always see the Jamaicans and Africans mess with our black women, but you never see us mess with Jamaican women or African women. We don't even try to talk to them. We don't even try to really gator like the Africans and the Jamaicans came to our women because they utilize our women to get money, to do scams, to do shit for
them. Right, especially them Nigerians.
Vicious.
Them Nigerians
Vicious.
Yeah, them Nigerians is, man, whoo, boy.
Because they don't consider you their people. So it can be an 80-year-old woman and they'll swindle out of a savings.
Out of every goddamn thing. They something else. But like we versed, man, like we intelligent black men, bro. And I'm proud to be sitting with people that actually can talk about situations and we can find millions of us like we are. Man, we can make it. Like Vince asked earlier, how can we? We got to find each other and reach one, teach one, man. The more you know, the more you grow. You know what I'm saying? We just got to share with each other.
We got to bring back our old philosophies.
It's real simplicity is the way to go. When you know what your situation and you can think it and express it, you can fix it. Like your car. If you know your alternator's bad, you know you need a new alternator. Your battery bad, you need a new battery. Like they got diagnostic machines that can tell you what's wrong with your vehicle. We telling each other what's wrong with our society. Why can't we fix it? If we didn't know, because our brains are being used.
You said it earlier.
It's not priceless, Bone. We using these things.
You said it earlier. We need to fix ourselves. Because that's what's hindering us. Because we can't, like you say, we can't stay in the house with each other. You follow what I'm saying?
But if we can talk to ourselves.
I mean, we can't pool our resources. I ain't giving that nigga my money.
If we can talk to ourselves, we can fix ourselves. If us can sit up here and have a conversation, we can fix this problem, man. Yeah, this reminds me of I Am Legend at the end when Will was in the basement. And the thing was trying to break in the door. He was trying to break in the door. And Will said, I can fix you. I can save all y'all. And they still was breaking in the door and breaking in the door until everything just blew up. And he's saying, man, I got the cure right here. I just found it, man. I can fix you.
Yeah, but that mindset,
That
they
mind
had,
is like
because they
they
was
The
rather.
a
mindset was
diseased
already
mind,
gone.
wouldn't let him do it. They destroyed themselves because they had that diseased mind. That's
Right.
what's happening with a lot of us, because you can talk to some brothers and then, man, I don't want to hear that black shit. What they got to do with I ain't the history. I mean, I'm just about me. I'm gonna get mine, you get yours. And they stand on that. And a lot of them will die for that. And you be like, oh my goodness, that's a cold level of
See,
ignorance
but if
right
you
there.
bring it to a large scale, like the Million Man March, you know what I'm saying? When Farrakhan called on brothers to go to the March, that's a cause right there. You know what I'm saying? Bone, you been before? Million
Yeah, I
Man
spoke
March?
at the Million Man March.
Okay.
I'm in the tape. I spoke at the Million Man March
That's a call
during
right
that time.
there. And a lot of brothers answer
Yeah.
the call. It's just afterwards, we got to continue. We can't call each other for something and then it's nothing after that. You got to have,
No, we got to follow up.
we
We
got
got to
to
follow up
follow up,
instantly
bro.
because
We
we lose
never,
sight.
we
We got to
never
follow up.
follow up. We never follow up.
Did they actually ever even try to follow up with some of them brothers?
I
'Cause
went to the second
No,
one.
what
and
happened
nobody
was
never
this. What
tried to
I
happened.
follow
went
This
up.
to
what
the
happened.
second one, Bone. I went to the second
I'll tell you
follow
what
up.
happened.
No,
What happened was the first one we went to, it was called atonement, right? So we got to
right.
atone each other. We all got to come together. So when we got together, what happened was when we all got there, everybody there, it was like controversy with people in power trying to say this and do this and you can't do this, but everybody like, no, we all in this together. Everybody. They even tried to tell us, but y'all can't sell these books and y'all stuff. So, hold on, man. What you mean we can't sell? If you sell a T-shirt, he's selling a cup, and you selling a phone card, we're gonna sell our T-shirts and our book up in this. I don't try to put us up out of here.
Who
Made
told
in the
you that?
Bloods and the Crips. The Muslims did. They try to tell us that we couldn't sell our stuff in there. Like, hold on, man. You got these New York dudes selling their stuff, and they selling their stuff. No, we got together. First, they weren't gonna they wanted just me to speak, right? I said, no, I'm not gonna be the only one speaking. I got tribes here from different neighborhoods, Chicago. All of us got together. And I said, all of us gonna speak. So that 5 minutes you want to give me, we're gonna break that down between 10 of us. So all of us got 45 seconds apiece or a minute to say what we gotta say. So we got up there, man. We seen all this money coming up, going into these boxes, right? U-Haul truck, about 5, 6 U-Haul trucks pulling out with money. It's
What?
fake boxes.
I heard
Yeah,
about.
for real. We look at this with our own eyes. Our own eyes. So they talking about, yeah, this money gonna go back to the communities and wow. So we get back to the community. We waiting for these different programs and the mosques, the different ones to come see what we gonna do. We wait about 2 months past, nothing ever happened. 2 more months passed,
I
nothing
mean,
ever
bro,
happened.
like, what the hell is wrong with our people, man? Like,
Nothing never
come
happened.
on,
Nothing
man.
never
Like,
happened. No follow-up, no nothing off of that, man. So then brothers started realizing, okay, this is what y'all planning like. So then when the next Million March came, nobody really went like that because we already knew what was going on,
so
what we've been played
I
about.
wasn't aware of that. I went because Snoop went because the minister invited Snoop. So I wasn't aware of that. I was taking it as if it was just like the first one. But I'm glad you shared that with me, so I know why it wasn't a follow-up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard
that's why
about
it was
that.
never no
Did you?
follow-up.
Yeah,
It
when I
was
was in
like,
the pen, I heard about it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
I
heard
went,
about
you
it.
know what I'm saying, basically because Snoop was going and I was glad to go. I want to go, you know. I don't think I would have went on my own, but you know, being that he had to go, I had to go too. And it was a good experience, man.
that's
I
just like
walked
that's just
away.
like Black Lives Matter, bro. When I went with Michael Brown to Ferguson for the Michael Brown situation with Bernice King, I was out there on that front line with all these old church people, and they were like, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. Then all of a sudden, here come the People Liberation Army, the Freedom Fighters, these Asian people, that's communist groups. They start coming up, Black Lives Matter. And they start throwing rocks and bottles to police from the back end, right? So then the old civil rights people, and Bernice King and all these old church people, they're like, oh no, we can't be out here like this here. This is not Black Lives Matter for us. So they went back into the church. When they went
You,
back in the church, they left all these liberation people out there
you
talking
know what
about
they call
defund the
them, brother?
police, defund the police. They weren't even from these areas. And that's when the Black Lives Matter organization started with the Bob Searle
You,
dude, with the old George Soros dude.
you
The
know what
original
they?
Black Lives Matter that we see went to the church and they simmered down, they humbled down, they just let it go, man. They said, we just give up on this.
You
And they
know,
never
you
came
know
back
what
to
they
the street
call
to
that,
fight a
brother?
march no
They
more.
call them agent provocateurs. You know, they'll
Yeah,
come,
agent provocateurs, man.
and they'll
Yeah, the agent
disrupt,
provocateurs.
they'll disrupt anything they can build when it concerning you. You know that's part of COINTELPRO, really. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, they did that with us in
Uh,
the peace treaty when we had the picnic at the park. They saying they came in there with their papers and stuff, these communist papers, these Asian people talking about we with y'all. Hey, no, y'all ain't with us. Get on up out of here. Don't come here with this here. We don't need you up in this here. We need you to go on about your business. We put them out. And then that day forward, I start seeing them pop up at different things. Just like when I tell the homies, anytime we get to with the police, they coming. Let it be a black on black crime, they ain't coming nowhere near that.
When
You can
you
see Black
said
Lives
Black
Matter,
Lives
none of them
Matter,
organizations come
when
out.
you said Black Lives Matter, I wish Black Lives matter to Black people. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, you know, we get behind like situations. It's almost like funerals. You know, like a lot of people like to go to funerals nowadays. They like to go to funerals because they don't see everybody all the time on the streets. So when they go to funerals, they see people who come back from here and come back from there. Like they go to funerals to see people that they ain't seen
In years.
They don't go to see
In
the
years.
body or to praise the person and make sure that, you know what I'm saying, that they pay their respect. They going to see people that they ain't. And that's almost like the Black Lives Matter to me. They going to just to be seen and not really support, because after it passes, they gonna let it pass. They not into like.
Then a lot of the people that ran Black Lives Matter organization, these people was professors teaching Pan-African studies in universities, professors and black women, black men in college, man, in university. They was already stricken and already sharp on this. They wasn't homeless. They wasn't been in no gang life. They've been in these colleges. They come down to these colleges and try to teach that philosophy off that college, Pan-African studies, and they utilize that to shadow us. All come to this group all the time. These white folks giving them money and for your own personal
agent
agenda.
provocateurs.
So it's
Agent
like
provocateurs, bro.
you saying, was it the white folks that was at fault, or was it the black folks at fault?
No, it was the black folks that fought because these white folks manipulate them into believing that they gonna help them and turn against us. That's all. That's exactly what they did. Just like that old song said a long time ago.
So the
they
black
got some new niggas.
so the black movement was really dictated by white people.
Yeah.
Okay.
The white man, George Suro, the one that gave them $3 million to start Black Lives Matter as an organization. And them black women came down there and started it.
Right, because I know that back in the days, you know, the Jews used to come out and help us like with sincerity. You know, they used to help us. They even died with us. They used to help us, you know, vote in the South. They used to help us learn how to read, and they used to help us. They was like really helping. I remember when I was a kid, man, like white people used to come to Kings Park and get us and take us to the university, man. That was the funnest
Cal
time
State.
I had in my life, man. White people, white students used to come and get us, and we did like all kinds of different activities and swim, and I actually had fun. So white people, I'm not a racist person to where I don't like white people, you know what I'm saying? I don't like people who don't like me or who do evil stuff to get my, because everybody got good people. Like I'm not like a racist. I'm not like, I don't hate white people like a lot of them hate us. Like, I don't hate them. I don't have no hatred in my heart for any mankind. I got hatred in my heart for situations, like how people, like, you know, take advantage of us because our weakness. As black people, we have a weakness, and our weakness is not respecting each other. It used to be our strength. It used to be our strength, the way we used to protect each other and love and care for each other. But over the years, with all the negativity of the divisions and stuff, with like self-preservation, like, you know, this is mine and that's yours. When it came to that is what the haves and have-nots, you know what I'm saying, they created divisions between you this type of black and I'm this type of black.
Yeah.
And in actuality, it's only one black.
I mean, before George Floyd, before they came with the thing Black Lives Matter, you already had the situation which you was talking about. Black folks living in the gutter, you know what I mean? No place to go, diseased, suffering from mental illness, piled up downtown LA. If Black lives really matter,
they would have
addressed that a long time ago.
And it's like,
because some people rather die than to live like that.
Yeah,
you hear me?
Man.
So he died, but these people still live like that right to this day, and they're getting younger and younger. And a lot of the choices of drug now is that fentanyl, and it's killing them.
Right, and us as black people, we got to realize that everybody is not going to be a star.
That's right.
Like, everybody is not going to be a great basketball player, a great football player, or this. I mean, it's other choices in life that you can be. You know, you can't waste your life trying to do something that's not gonna happen. Like if you want to be an artist and you want to be like a rapper or a singer or something, after a certain time period, you gotta consider something else. If you're not establishing no type of income from that, you gotta start thinking about something else.
You remember the brother I was telling you about that was singing?
Mhm.
And I said, man, he sound real old. And I asked, I said, man, how old is brother? Oh, he's 49. And me and you start laughing.
Right.
And I was like, brother, if you don't have a fan base by the time you in your late 20s or something, who gonna follow you? And you that age? Come on, man.
Right. I mean, you
You know?
gotta we gotta start telling our kids, like, you can't do this. Like, we done forgot how to lead our kids and letting them know that there's certain things at a certain point that you gotta change and do something else because that's where it's not working for you come from. Like, everybody can't be LeBron James. Everybody can't be a Emmitt Smith, or everybody can't be a Terry Bradshaw, a great quarterback or something like that. Everybody can't do that. You know what I mean? Everybody
We
can't
start
be
being our kids' best
Beyonce and
friend.
Jay-Z.
You know,
Yeah.
And you wasting all your money, your time, your effort on something that's not going to materialize.
But wait a minute, brother.
we can't be our
let
kids'
me hit
best
this verse
friends.
for
We
you.
can't be our kids' friends. You know, we
Huh?
hanging with our kids, we party with our kids. We niggas drinking with their kids, smoking with their kids, giving the kids the hustle game. You can't party with your kids because your kid gonna become your friend or your homie. Like I tell my little homies, my homies' kids, you're my nephews. You're not my little homie. Your daddy's my homie. You're not my homie. Now,
That's right.
because you claim 5 dudes, that's you doing that. I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't come to bring you into this here. You chose that, but you're not my homie. You're my nephew. And a lot of them respect that because that nephew sound better than a little homie to them because they know it's meaning something far than what they believe, and they start thinking like that. Just like the white folks. We know the white folks, every white folk that we grew up with, that we knew that we liked it, was either a teacher or principal at our schools.
Right. And I was just thinking about Mr. O'Toole. He was
Yeah.
our PE teacher going to school, and he was a good, solid dude, man. I mean, he was like real, I thought about my elementary school principal, Miss Anderson. You know what I'm saying? Last week I was thinking, man, she was old, so I know she did, but she was fair, Bone. But I'll tell you
Right.
one thing though, bro. Like, growing up, I was accused of a lot of things, and most of them I did it. Like every time the police came to my house, I did it. Every time they called me, I did it. So I can't say that they was racist towards me, because every time, only one time that they caught me, I bought a car from one of my homies, and he had stole it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? He sold it to me, and I took the lie detector test, and I won. I was really innocent.
Passed it.
Every other motherfucking time that they ever caught me or ever accused me of anything, I did it. So, I'm sure it's a lot of brothers that's been accused of a lot of things that they didn't do, maybe because they look like somebody. I guess don't nobody look like me, because every time that they came to my house, I did it. And another thing
Right.
is, I didn't know, I used to think that they had powers. I didn't know people were snitching on me, Bone. I used to say,
Yeah.
God damn, man, how do you know every time I did something? You know what I'm saying? I couldn't put 2 and 2 together that somebody was snitching on me until one day we did a crime, I got away, and he got caught, and I ain't gonna say his name, but he came to my house in the police car in the back seat, and I looked out the window and I seen him, so I went changed all my clothes, and they came to the door and say, is Thomas Briner here? I was, damn. That's when it hit me, Bone, that these motherfuckers told on me.
Yeah. They've been telling.
Yeah, they've been telling. I never knew that that's what I thought they had powers, bro. I couldn't believe that one of my friends would actually tell on me.
And that changed your whole perception.
It changed my perspective.
Let me say this.
When he got on the stand and his grandma said, "Tell it like it is, boy. I got you all the way." Man, he started crying and shit. Started pointing fingers at me. I said, "Oh,
Hey, look, man.
that's what that is."
Look, you've been in the street ever since you was a little kid. I can vouch for that. And you already know anytime we do something and you see a cat and we get caught and the cat start crying, you already know what time it is.
You already know
You
what
better
time it
tell.
is.
Yeah, man, but
He finna tell. He finna
I
sing
don't
like,
know why,
hey,
bro.
what's that old
I
saying? He
thought they
finna
was
sing like a
smart,
tutu
man.
bird.
I thought they was scanner. I thought they was smart. I didn't know what that was, bro. But it's telling. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like you always
That's
got to
right.
remember that people that's close to you, they will sell you out. They will tell on you. They will do things against you. Like they will deceive you. Sometimes you can't be blind to society, man.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So
Not.
that was always funny to me when I realized that people tell. It was,
Hey,
man.
remember we didn't even call them snitches back then. We called them you a tattletale.
I,
We thought you was telling on mama. If they gonna go tell your grandmama on you, man, they was already breeding to go tell. They were tattletale. You a tattletale.
But
We just take that like it was a little game, like hide and seek. But they really build themselves to go tell when life
Right.
changed for us.
we was kids, we was calling them snitches because we was out there committing crimes. So
Right.
the definition was snitch. You snitched on the homeboy. Yeah, for real, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a crazy world though, but you know, I ain't never been, you know, actually I could say that, you know, like they ain't never came, got me, you know what I'm saying, to where and I've never been like, you know, I've never been racially I never been really been racially discriminated against, you know what I'm saying, like called a nigga or like being treated bad. You know, I didn't really know that type of shit existed until I got older. You know what I'm saying? Like I was never, and I come from the South, but I never saw no type of racial stuff. I wasn't aware that racism really existed till I got maybe like 14 or 15 years old. I didn't know that, you know, like the white boys just come through the hood, throw bottles at us and say nigga and this and that, but I didn't know what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that it was a division between us and them. You know what I'm saying? But to say about the Ku Klux Klans and all that, I didn't know none about that until Roots came out.
Mm-hmm.
Roots came out in 1977. That gave me a perspective of what racism was and how we came about to be in the situation that we in. I didn't know that before then.
Mm-hmm. A lot of us, that's how we was able to peep through the window through Roots. Because, you know, when you go to school, they teach you about Abraham Lincoln, George Washington,
Right.
everything else. But they would never teach you about them being victimizers because that puts them in a bad light. And even to this day, it's more sensitive to them than it is to us.
Yeah, because I
and
didn't
we
know.
was the one catching all the hell.
I didn't know nothing about racism, Vince, until Roots. I
Yeah.
didn't know that we was Bone. We can't even hear you.
Oh,
Oh,
go. Now you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. What was you saying?
No, I didn't say nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but yeah, man, I didn't know nothing about racism. I never was like one time when I was 9 years old, you know, we stole a car and it was an officer, man. His name was Bowline. He was a mean motherfucker in the neighborhood. He used to squabble with you. He do all that shit. Well, anyway, we stole a car and my homeboy was driving it and they was ramming us. It was three of us. It was one in the back, I was in the front, and my homie was driving it, and they was ramming us, and they was ramming us. They rammed us, and we went into a living room, you know what I'm saying, in somebody's house, man. And I end up trying to go up the stairs, and he grabbed me. Bowline grabbed me and threw me on the damn ground real hard and drug us all out and put us in the police car. And I was sitting in the middle, and he turned around. He socked me in my nose, man. He broke my nose, and he said, "You don't fuck with the man, you nigger." I was 9, man. Broke my goddamn nose. And I was like, damn, this motherfucker broke my nose. But I didn't know who he was until then. And then when I found out who he was, oh, man.
You remember the incident where they had you and roughing you up, and they said, "Leave that boy alone." And they said, "You just don't know, who this is."
This motherfucker ain't no goddamn child right here. This motherfucker's a grown ass man.
Nah,
but
man,
like he broke my
back in
nose,
the day,
man.
they used to put us on the hood.
Yeah.
Remember they used to make you get on the bumper and put you up. Back in our days, crash and pull up on it. They wouldn't even crash then. They'll pull up on us, man, and then they'll put our face on that hood. Or they'll make us get down by the bumper and hit them high beam lights in our face.
Let me tell you this right here. I was 9, bro. When I was 22, I went to jail and I bailed out on a fake name. And when I was coming down the elevator, and the elevator opened, he was standing right there. And he said, man, what's your name, man? And I said, my name is Tom Wells. He said, your name ain't no goddamn Tom Wells. I know you. And I was like, man, my name Tom Wells. They let me down and they let me go. He rolled up on me about 2 weeks later, man. I was in my Cadillac. I was by Handsome, Vince, on 20th.
Yeah.
He rolled up on the side of me and he said, Thomas Brighter. And he boned out.
Yeah. Yeah, he remembered you.
He remembered me, man. When I was 9 years old, bro, that motherfucker remember. It's like almost like a slave mentality, like an overseer. Like he know all his pickings.
All his slaves.
All his slaves. He remember all his slaves.
Yeah.
Nigga, you one of mine. I done stamped you already. I victimized you. I broke your nose, man. When you was 9 years old. I know you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That energy that he had when he hit me in my nose, man, it was powerful because he broke my nose from sitting in the car, Bone.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a lot like that, man. We know what they're capable of doing. Like when they tell us, they'll tell you too, oh, you gonna snitch on me like that? Thought y'all kept it in the street. We the biggest gang in LA. Y'all ain't the biggest gang. We the biggest gang. They literally would come down there and drop the East Coast off on the block and let them fight head up with the homie, put it back in the car and roll off on him. Then one time they hit the corner and my homie shot the dude from the East Coast, shot the police. They came back and killed him and killed this other dude. Then rode on my homie. Yeah, they rode on my homie, the brother, the brother, the dude they killed. While I was on the porch, and rode up and said, ha, 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 we killed your brother. Who's next?
Wow. Hey, you know, when we was in the county jail, them motherfuckers was like a gang, man. The motherfuckers used to tell you, hey, didn't I tell you to put your motherfucking head on the wall, man?
Blue.
Huh? Did I tell you to put your...
Call you blue.
Man, you talk some shit, man, they fuck you up.
Man,
I don't give a fuck if you the toughest motherfucker in the hood, you know what I'm saying? They whoop your motherfucking ass, and they're the homies to get off that motherfucking wall and help you.
Flashlight therapy.
Yeah, man, big ass flashlight. Whoop your, them motherfuckers talk to you like, they talk to you like that, Bone. Like, what the fuck did I tell you, man? Huh? Motherfucker.
I was in 4800. Look, I was in 4800.
Blue, did I tell you to get your shoulder against that damn wall?
Right.
Hey, now look, I'm in 4800. I come back from visit. So I'm ready to go down the road. I come back from a visit, so it's me and this dude from 9-4. We the only ones on the shouting for it, right? So I'm ready for the Buzz April Road, so I go down in Baker Road, so I go down Baker Road. He finna go down the April Road. So this black officer always talk shit in 4800 Washington. He was always talking shit to motherfuckers. So he came in and talking shit to dude from 9-4. I never forget. Me and him the only one that shouted for it. Boy, he talked shit to him, man. That nigga from 9-4 turned around and hit him with a two-piece and was working him. And he kept trying to go to get the little taser out. He was working him, right? So everybody knew how people in the shower come back from the shower. They wait for go to visit. They rah-rah in the shower. But I'm in the shouting point with him right there. They're like, Bone, help him. I said, help me for what? He don't need no help. He beat that man up. Hey, open this gate. Because I know that yellow dope in the rack open. Oh, hell no.
They probably killed him.
Face the door squad. That door racked open, boy. I hit that gate, that Baker gate. I slammed that gate. And he was out there whooping that man ass, boy. Them motherfucking five, that yellow dope opened up, and them five came in there with them shields, them sticks. They worked him. Oh, Bone, why you didn't help him? What? I could get beat up if he look like the goofy man up out here? Hell no.
Did they
I
kill
didn't tell
him?
that man to hit that man like that there, to whoop on him like that there. I was damn sure not finna catch a case.
Did they kill him, Bone?
But he's not here.
Did they kill him or just beat the shit out of him? Did they kill him or just beat the shit out of him?
No, they beat the shit out of him. Boy, hey, when that gate open for beat, they told me, why you coming in, nigga? I'm coming in there. Fuck that. Close that gate real quick, boy. He was working, that police officer. They beat him up. They didn't kill him because we'd have known it. They beat him up real bad, though. They beat his ass up, but he fucked that police officer up.
He might as well have, because the consequences are going to be severe. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. But, Bone, I think we actually covered some ground, man. I mean, you know, just freestyling, you know what I'm saying, unwritten, you know what I'm saying? We really, what you think, man?
Oh, yeah, it was cool, man. Definitely cool. You know, I think what we need, though, is like to have subjects.
Right. Oh, we
questions. That's why I ask questions, because I'm interested to hear different feedback.
What I want to do is I want to have also like books, like selections, like you know what I mean, like the Black Man Guide to Understand the Black Woman, the Black Man black woman of God to understand black, just different
Changing,
literatures.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
changing images about of
Sold on
psychological
ice and all
slavery.
these
By
other
now
books
you
you
black
can
boy.
read.
Right.
Yeah,
But at
yeah.
first, you
Yeah.
got to talk about things that
Yeah.
people need to understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that in California it's like this, but it's not like this everywhere.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
basically, it's to make people aware that wherever they are, you know what I'm saying, to protect their interests. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Protect your kids, protect your house, protect your job. Because if you don't protect those things, you're gonna lose them.
Yeah.
Because you got a wolf out here.
I
You
wanna
got a
ask
wolf
I
out
just want to
here.
ask you one question, man. What is it about us that we try to love everybody, and in the end, don't nobody love us?
Because we are the creators. We make beautiful music. We're the best ever in sports. We can run the fastest. We're the strongest. We're the most dominant. We are the birth. We gave birth to humanity. So we are its father. So that's why we are nourishing, because everything is our kids. We are the first man with melanin in our skin. All other melanin, I believe, come from us. We are the creator of humanity. We are Adam. We are Eve. You know what I'm saying? We are the descendants, you know what I'm saying, of the first. So our nature is to love our kids, although our kids don't love us.
Man,
Our kids don't love us. Anything that's great and anything that gives and you give it a choice, it's going to choose the way that it won't. Even your own kids may not respect you at the end of the day. So, but they respect everything we do. You know what I'm saying? We are dominant in everything that we do. You know what I'm saying? If you teach a brother how to swim, goddamn it, he gonna be the leader of swimming. You teach him how to golf, he gonna be the best golfer in the world. You teach him how to play basketball, anything that you teach him, we excel in everything. So, we are the fathers. We are the mothers.
So that would be the reason why
forefathers, yeah.
we embrace everybody.
We embrace everything because we're the first. You know what I'm saying? We are the first. Like, the things don't embrace us. They strategize with us. They create a way to utilize us. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the way you get people to worship you is you worship them first. And then once you reverse it on them, and then they'll start worshiping you. Like, say the Jews have, like we spoke about earlier, how they came and helped us in our times of need, as far as teaching us how to read and all that. But they was going through something too. They was going through, people didn't like them as much as they didn't like us.
That's right.
So they had to combine with somebody who was on the same standards that they was on to get recognition to their own situation.
That's right.
They couldn't come in because America believed in Jesus Christ. It was built on Jesus Christ. But they believe that the Jews killed Jesus, so they can never forgive them for that. That's their Lord and Savior. But they have to come about it in a political way in order to get recognition. So they're gonna help the world recognize that you have a problem and then they're gonna slide theirs in there. And that's what they did. And that's what they've been doing all these years. They've been sliding theirs in there because they have the money. They own NBC. They own CBS. They own all the major networks. They own all the movies and stuff that's being created in Hollywood.
And the Goldsteins, they own the largest diamond company in the world.
They own everything, but they didn't own an identity. They needed us to help the world forgive them for what they did to Jesus. That's what I believe. I believe that they had to help a minority that needed help in order to shine some light on themselves. And that's what they did. They joined our cause for their own cause.
Yeah, the Holocaust and all that.
All that.
Yeah.
And now it's like they use, when we was in the spotlight with John F. Kennedy, they was too, because they was standing right on the side of Martin Luther King.
Yeah, when they snuck all that gold and diamonds over here, when they got to go over here, they came up. They had wealth when they came over here, and they created.
Yeah, but where they at now with us? Where they at? Yeah. Where they at? When the last time they showed up to a meeting for us? Bone. When the last time they showed up to a meeting for us?
This is what I was talking about. You embrace them, and
They
then
walk
at
through
the
Beverly
end,
Hills,
pew,
because
pew.
they use us.
A
They
few
they-
other people done did that too, even in the pen. I'm like, man, y'all don't talk to brothers no more. Y'all used to automatically be put in the cell with brothers.
Right.
What happened?
Who?
Samoans.
Oh yeah, man.
You follow
like,
what I'm saying?
I'm not going to
But
say
I'm
what
just-
I'm going to
yeah,
say,
yeah,
but
yeah,
man,
yeah,
like,
but
you know, sometimes though we create, like, people embrace us, you know, like the Asians did. Like, a lot of Asians was claiming Crips.
Mhm.
And then, like, you know, we wasn't, like, I guess, supportive to them for their cause. So they started looking at us like, you know, we was not what they thought we was.
Mhm.
They got tricked into believing that it was a certain culture and they'll get accepted, but they never really got fully accepted into the assimilation of our culture. You know, the Samoans did. We was like tight with them. You know, SOS and us was like tight. You know what I mean? But over time, we start like withdrawing from each other. They start moving farther away from us, and they was on the east side, then they moved to the west side, then they was in Carson, and then they start moving like to Utah and different places. You know what I'm saying? So they separated themselves from us.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's they separate themselves from us. So we just a race that don't really, you know, embrace things that's given to us real good, man. Like people, you know what I'm saying, that pay us attention. Like, and sometimes people that pay us attention, they take advantage of us and we don't see it. And then when they utilize us and they gone, and then we be thinking like, what happened to them? Because we let them
Right.
in, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then they got what they wanted from us
And they gone.
and they gone.
That's right.
They gone. They gone.
Even if it causes them, some
gone.
of
They
them
said
to
they gone.
die by associating with us until they get what they want, which is recognition the same as we getting, you know what I'm saying? And then once they get that,
Bye-bye.
they abandon cause. They got recognition as good people
Yeah.
Yeah.
to trust.
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
Yep. So I think it's time. It looked like it's winding down. You know what I mean? I think it was a good conference we had, you know what I'm saying?
First
And,
session.
Yeah, first session, you know, and there's more to come. And I appreciate y'all for showing up and showing out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
And,
man. It was a blessing, man. It was a very comfortable conversation.
Bonner,
And you know,
we
like
gonna
you
get
said,
this,
it went right where it's supposed to go.
we're going to get this new Uncle Snoop Army cracking, you know what I'm saying? Bringing these Southern artists and this Doggy Style on Death Row, you know what I'm saying? It'll be coming soon, you know? And I appreciate y'all for showing up, man. And I look forward to seeing y'all next time. And with that,
All top,
Real
we
Talk
here.
is signing
You already
off.
know that.
Until next time, we going to holler.
That's
You
right.
heard me?
That's right.
That's it. Let's do it.
Peace out.
Yeah.